Well, Razorback fans, now Arkansas is demanding their money back in the NIL broken contract with this Madden kid. Oh, it just gets better and better. So let's talk about it on today's Locked On Razorbacks podcast.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily podcast on the Arkansas Razorbacks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I am your host, John Nabors. I am also the host of Inside Arkansas Live, which you can catch every weekday starting at noon on Inside Arkansas and InsideArkansas.com. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday as you're getting closer to the weekend. I know some Razorback baseball has been going on, so we'll talk a little bit about that, as well as some Razorback football. Had some portal entries, and it's never actually a good thing, but disappointing to say the least. But either way, I thought I would be done for this story. I really did, and at least for the time being, to see what would transpire over time. But nope, there's still got to be some more. There's still got to be some more that's getting thrown around in this one, and has to deal with what's been reported yesterday in dealing with the Madden situation. I'm just going to keep calling him Madden. You know who I'm talking about. Where we all know about the Hunter Yurchek statement. We know about what they wanted to, or at least the thing that got thrown around was the $500,000, whatever it is. Well, now the latest reports, and this is according to Front Office Sports as well as On3, and Pete Nakos confirmed this news, that the Arkansas NIL collective of the Arkansas Edge sent 2 demand letters to players asking to fulfill their buyout clauses. Arkansas's NIL collective has sent 2 demand letters to players asking to fulfill the buyout clauses. The 80s comments yesterday were referring to multiple players who left before NIL contracts expired, including Madden. Nakos reported it's related to 2 freshman transfers, one being Madden. He's expected to join Nico and his brother in Tennessee. According to Nakos, Arkansas is demanding roughly $200,000 back from Madden, who he enrolled earlier this year and spent just a few months with the program. Nakos also reported on Tuesday that the NIL buyouts were coming from Arkansas, and athletic director Hunter Yurchek wanted to enforce those transfers. While Yurchek chose not to single out a single athlete, his decision to comment on NIL buyouts the day after Madden's departure is not a coincidence. A similar situation is playing out at Tennessee, where there was a very public divorce there. Most schools are including buyouts and revenue sharing contracts, blah, blah, blah. Because Wisconsin defensive back Xavier Lucas transferred to Miami over the winter without entering into the portal because the Badgers argued that the revenue sharing deal he signed is included in the buyout clause. And Wisconsin has since indicated it might pursue legal action against Lucas. So now that's the next step. That's the latest thing going on with this story. Is Arkansas is demanding, and those are the words that they use, demanding $200,000 back from Madden. So now we start to continue to put more and more pieces together into this particular story. I thought that with the $500,000 valuation that essentially was given to Madden, according to the articles that we talked about yesterday, I thought that maybe there would be, just since it was a value, was it really that much? Or, was he paid all of it up front? Whatever it is. Well, if you looked at the language that we talked a little bit about yesterday, is that, in the buyout clauses that Arkansas would sign, it would be roughly about 50% of what was owed for the remainder of the season, or the remainder of the contract that he signed. And so I'm doing a little bit of math here, and maybe this isn't exactly how it works. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an expert in bird law. Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference, if those get it. But either way, it looks like that was essentially about $500,000, or at least close to it, maybe $400,000. But they're demanding $200,000 back from him. So what that tells me is that he essentially was paid that amount, $200,000 up front. May have been more later down the road, or maybe when the season started, maybe when the fall semester started, or whatever it is. But they're demanding $200,000 back. And man, it's just one of those deals to where I don't know how you could do this in good conscience. I don't know how you, as a human being, could do something like this and just be okay with it. You taking $200,000 or whatever the number is, but we know it's at least $200,000 that you agreed upon to do something. You don't do it, but yet you think you just keep the money. And how do you do that with good conscience? Like, trust me, as someone who's been on the bad end and in a bad situation and with someone in business, someone who probably would have done something like this, I can tell you that I couldn't live with myself if something like this happened. Like, if I signed on the dotted line that I was going to get paid $500,000 in a year if I fulfilled ABC, and I got $200,000 up front as a signing bonus, or at least like a, hey, pay now and then pay later, all that, whatever it is. And then after a month, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm doing something else. I'm going on. And they're like, okay, well, what about the contract? Sorry, I can't do it. Well, okay, well, we need that money back. Nah, I'm keeping it. Like, how as a good human being can you just rationalize that? Because I'm going to be honest. Hunter Yurachek putting out that tweet yesterday, and then now the reports coming out about it, I sincerely doubt that this is the first time they've been asking and demanding the money back. I am sure that once he entered into the transfer portal, if it wasn't the first, it might as well have been the second thing that was asked to him, or at least thrown to him, be like, hey, we're going to need that money back if you're leaving. Like that, I guarantee you they did it in quiet. They did it one-on-one, or sent him a letter or text or phone call or whatever it was. And maybe there was no response, which, given the circumstances of how this family operates, looks like that probably was the case. Not going to say anything, just going to keep the money. Keep the money and run back to California. It's cowardly. And it's Bush League. But the fact that they're just okay with that, because again, if he would have given the $200,000 back, I still wouldn't have liked how it was handled. I still wouldn't have liked the approach. I still wouldn't have liked a lot of the things. But the more that comes out about this, assuming that this is true, which I don't think we have any reason to believe not so, the more that comes out about this, the more I believe that this was all a plot. This was all a part of the plan. Anyone's just something he woke up and he said he was homesick or whatever. I have a hard time believing that if someone's truly homesick like that, they like, I want to leave, that they would also be like, well, I'm keeping the money too. No, if you were sincere about it and you wanted to leave and you were trying to be doing the right thing and approaching it the right way, you would fully understand why you need to give that money back. Regardless of the paperwork, regardless of what you signed, regardless of the contract, just to be a decent human being, because that's the right thing to do. But that's not what this is about. It's not about what's right and wrong. It's about you getting as much money as humanly possible for you, and then daring anybody to challenge you on it when you take it and you run. That's what this has become. I hope and pray that Arkansas gets this money back, just because I think that if they want to save any sort of face in this whole thing, they will start doing as much damage control as possible and getting the money back. And then put out an apology or something. Just do the right thing. I know it's asking a lot. What a crazy concept. Just do the right thing. But this is not going to get better. And I really hope that the University of Arkansas never backs off of this. Do not fold. Do not let this happen. You sent out the tweet, Hunter Yurachek. You've sent out the demand letters. Never give up. Never surrender. Go until you get your money back. Do whatever you can. Take it to the courts. State court, federal court, kangaroo court. I don't care. Take it to whatever court you need to take it to and get your money back. Do not let up, because you need to set a great precedent in this regard, not only for college sports in general, but for specifically your school, that, hey, if you're going to come here and we are going to offer you in this amount of money, a large amount of money for you to come be a student athlete here. You are going to fulfill your promise, or if you break it, you're going to owe us for that break. And you will not get away with it. We will get ours. We will see you in court. It'll get nasty. It'll get drawn out. It'll make it a bad image for everybody. But here's the deal. Nobody, and I mean nobody with a brain in their head, is looking at the Arkansas Razorbacks and the University of Arkansas Athletic Department saying, hey, you guys are in the wrong here. I mean, you really expect a kid to honor his contract that he signed when he gave him money and then he didn't honor it? I mean, you should know better. No, that's not what this is. Arkansas is in the right on this, and they're on the right side of history, and they're in the right according to many people. So because of that fact, don't let up. Don't let him get away with this. Don't let anybody get away with this. People need to be held accountable for their actions. Plain and simple. So I can't wait to see how it plays out. I also thought it was interesting too, real quick. I want to find this out. They said that there were 2 demand letters sent to 2 players. Who could the other player be? Because that's what it said. Arkansas's NIL collective has sent 2 demand letters to players, plural. Ooh. Okay. And it says NACO's reported it's related to 2 freshman transfers. Whoever could it be? I wonder who it might be. Gee, let's go through some of these things and see if we can figure this out real quick, because the transfer portal is wild. Let's see. Who one of these freshmen that just came in real quick and decided to bounce out? Tell you what, we may have to we'll wait. We can wait on that and see where that name goes and see what that ends up being. Because I think because it's got to be a significant amount for them to put out demand letters. It's got to be a significant amount. So I'll bring it up tomorrow on the podcast because there's going to be some things you got to discuss. But either way, Arkansas football did have some players of note enter into the transfer portal. They did. What does it mean? Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it next. So stay with us here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, Razorback fans, the NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving away new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, you can join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, and you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes it so easy to bet, whether it's picking my favorite team, you're diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals and assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet on your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into the same game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. All right, so moving on into the next segment of the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. So Arkansas had a few players enter into the transfer portal yesterday on the football side of things. And we'll start with one that, again, it's disappointing to see, but one of them was at least something that I was hopeful when he was coming out of high school. I guess both of them even would be this case. But either way, JuJu Pope, the Arkansas freshman running back. He's 6 foot, 216 pounds. He was one of the top recruits out of the 2024 class. He was a redshirt freshman. He was originally supposed to play linebacker, but then he moved to running back last season. He didn't see any game action. He's a 3-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports, but he was also a 24/7 Sports composite 4-star player. So a lot of other places had him pretty high. He was the number 48 linebacker recruit in the nation, 20 overall out of the Magnolia State. And he had offers to Louisville, Mississippi State, as well as Alabama, Michigan, and Oregon, among others. So it's like, I know you're not going to hit on everybody, but man, if you got a guy that's from Alabama, has an offer to go to Alabama, to go to Michigan, to go to Oregon, and this is what happens. It's like, come on, man. At running back, like, is it better for him to be over there? It's not like the running back room is extremely, like has all these players on. I know they have bodies, but it's not like there's a Jaquindon Jackson that's just overtaking everything. I mean, it seems to be a wide open deal. You have a few good guys in there. We'll see who actually ends up being the starter. But if assuming he moved to running back and you try to use him at running back and he couldn't see the field, is that a you problem or is that a he problem? Is that at a position? What could that possibly be? But either way, it's disappointing. Rooting for him, whatever it is, wherever he ends up. But you never want to see a player that you felt so good about for a while end up going to the portal and end up going somewhere else. So that was a big one. But the other one too of note, and I know they've had a few of them, but I'm just talking about the ones of note that ended up being there. Shamar Easter, the Arkansas redshirt sophomore wide receiver, 6'5", 223, and in 2023 he was one of the standout players of that class. He was a 4-star player out of the state of Arkansas, and he moved to tight end, or from tight end to wide receiver for the Arkansas Liberty Bowl against Texas Tech. So he just moved kind of at the last minute there, and trying to see the field. He played a little bit, but yeah, he was the number 2 overall prospect out of the state of Arkansas. Chose the Razorbacks over South Carolina, Auburn, Florida State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas A&M, as well as several others. He just saw a game, one action in one game last season, which was against UAPB. Now, again, it kind of goes along with the same deal. Sometimes players just don't hit. Sometimes players just don't end up being the ones you were hoping for, the ones that they were recruited for, whatever it may be. But it's just one of those things where someone like him, you're like, there's no spot. There's no spot for him. Why could he not see the field at all? Was it something complicated? Because if you get chances at wide receiver and a tight end, and the fact that he moved the tight end right before the Liberty Bowl tells me that at least they saw something in him to maybe build him up into it, maybe work with him on the spring on that, and then just say peace, sorry. And maybe he feels like he's got another deal, a better deal. But I just hate to see it. I hate to see in-state kids. They go few and far between. I keep hoping for it. Arkansas used to be tight end you know? They used to have just tight ends after tight ends after tight ends. And we know with the Luke Hass situation last year and the Ty Washington situation last year, didn't get featured as much, and now they've moved on. I kept hoping that maybe Shamar Easter would break through, but it just wasn't meant to be. But that's what happens, as it is, and as it was. Like, are these two guys leaving going to change Arkansas's season and the wins and losses? No, I feel the same way about Madden when he entered into the portal and all that stuff too. So it sucks. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. The point is when it comes to what you got going on, you were able to keep the players of note, the players that you're going to have as starters or at least key contributors. You were able to keep them. And as I mentioned before, I'm not talking about last season. I'm talking about just through the spring, because we know from last season you got gutted. I'm talking about the spring practices and portal season. Knock on wood, you kept them. And now it's about the next step. Now it's about the direction you go. Now it's about, hey, you having your team. This is your team. What are you going to do with it? On paper and everything, it's not going to wow anybody. In fact, I keep saying that when SEC Football Media Days comes around in July, Arkansas is more than likely going to pick to be finished last, second to last, or maybe even at best, like they were last year, third to last. No one's going to give them much of a chance. No one's feeling good about it. And a lot of fans have relayed their feelings about this to me, and I kind of get it. I kind of see it and all that, but they just kind of feel like that the U of A or the athletic department doesn't really care about winning at a high level in football. Basketball, baseball, all those things, they do. But football, it seems like they're just sharing what so many people feel like, well, Arkansas is never going to be good, so therefore, why should we try? And, there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of that going on, and I understand that feeling. But here's my hope. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that you're wrong. I hope we're all proven wrong. I hope that this season actually ends up being a solid one for Arkansas. I hope a lot of these players that on paper didn't seem to have all the glitz and glamour end up being really good gets, and they hit in the portal and they end up being a great team and people stay healthy and it's all perfect and well done and all of that. That's what I hope for. But man, it's just hard for me to bet on it. It's hard for me to feel that way. Either way, Arkansas baseball took care of business in the midweek. Back-to-back shutouts, not bad, but we'll talk about that here and a lot more. So stay with us here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, Razorback fans, did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to Avowed. They have it all. As easily as you stream your favorite shows, it's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. The cool thing about it is with 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and so much more. You can also play those high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. Already have a console? Well, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take you and your kids' games wherever you can plug in. I know that I am a hardcore gamer, and I know that I have enjoyed it, and it's always a nice little peace of mind and everything. But that's what's great about it is you can be on the go. Like sometimes when I travel, I'd like to have something on the go. I'd like to be able to still get on the sticks whenever I'm not doing anything else. Well, that's what I got, the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. So head to amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, first and second generation, and Fire TV Cube, third generation. All right, so final segment here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, shout out to the Razorback baseball team taking care of business. We talked about them run ruling yesterday, and it was yesterday. Run ruling them in game one, and in game two, they didn't run rule them, but they did win 4-0. They did shut them out once again. And it's just nice to kind of get that practice back in there. Arkansas had 8 hits. Davalon and Aloy both have 2 hits. How about Aloy, dude? That dude's just incredible. He's hitting 380. He's got 16 home runs on the season. Hit another one yesterday. Just dong slappers out there, man. He's just throwing it out there, and he's also great defensively. The dude's one of the best all-around Razorback baseball players that they've had in a while. So, dude's been great. Logan Maxwell goes 1 for 3. You also have Brent Iredale. It's good to see him starting to get back into the mix. He had a slump there, but now he's back to being over 300 and hitting over 300, and he's starting to figure some things out. So hopefully that keeps going. But you had him. Gabe Frazier went 1 for 3. Bowles went 1 for 4. So you got some hits, but obviously you got to find ways to score. And they left 10 on base in that one. But the pitching was really what it was about. Some really good showings out of that. You had Fisher get the start, then Steele Eves comes in. He gets the win, but only gave up 2 hits. Gibbler gives up a hit in 2 innings. Bybee with 1 hit in an inning, then Fouch, and then McIntyre. And shout out to McIntyre. By the way, Gibbler had 6 strikeouts in that way, so he was really good. But shout out to McIntyre. He comes in for 1 inning, gets 2 strikeouts. And for whatever reason, he's polarizing. I don't understand it. But the dude's really good. And, these are guys that are you going to rely on them to start anytime like this weekend or anything like that? No. But at some point in time, you're going to have to rely on some of these guys. If you get to Omaha, you're going to have to rely on some of these guys. If you in the regionals even, because just the way the games are set up, you're going to have to rely on some of these guys. So they need as much practice as possible. But when I saw that Arkansas had run ruled 12 opponents this year, 12, that's incredible. That's an impressive thing. But then if you start really considering it, if those are all 7-inning games, that means you don't play 2 innings of each of those games, which also means that's like what, if I'm doing my math right, 24 innings? 24 innings you've missed out on. 24 innings you could have had other pitchers out there pitching, getting warmed up, getting used to it. So, maybe that's a little bit of a downside. But still, it was a good performance by Arkansas. Hopefully they continue it on. It's a big one this weekend on the road against Florida and Gainesville. Jeez, I had like a burning sensation in my stomach. That was hurting. But I'm fine. Good thing the podcast is wrapping up. So that would get really uncomfortable. But either way, hey, I appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Google Play. You can also get after me on Twitter at John Nabors Show for any questions, comments, concerns that you may have. Keep it going from there. Same podcast time, same podcast channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. See you then.